Warning: the following video might contain some moments that might not be suitable for younger viewers. Viewer discussion is advised. As an 80s kid, I loved Transformers. I watched the cartoon, I had all the toys, I even had Megatron, the one that transformed into a gun. I didn't know that Transformers was aimed at boys than girls, but I didn't care. When Generation 2 was released in 1992, it was disappointing, and I subsequently ignored the other generation of Transformers as a female teen. On my personal life, it sucked. I got these crappy jobs such as mowing the lawn and worst of all, babysitting. I hated it a lot. You have bratty kids you had to take care of, which can get annoying. Yep, I was a terrible babysitter, but it didn't matter. I was saving money for a Transformers DVD of the original cartoon series. I was hired to this one house belonging to the Jacobs. That was where I had one of the strangest experiences I have ever had. The Jacobs were going for a dinner party and left me in charge of their son. The Jacobs had one son named James. Upon arriving, to my surprise, he was a Transformers fan who had owned some of the newer toys. Once Jacobs left for a dinner party in the afternoon and said that they will be returning at 1 a.m., I played with James and his toys until he and I were exhausted. It was around 7 p.m. and then I made the biggest mistake of my life. I asked James if he had watched the TV show. He said no. However, his father brought VHS tape from eBay as a gift. eBay? I never trusted eBay. I got sent for a pair of shoes. I thought giving away your address to someone else was dangerous. I shouldn't be complaining. The VHS tape wasn't mine. It was James. James went to bed just before he got on his Formula car bed. I asked him if I can watch it, and he said yes. I regret that ever since. I saw James hop in his bed. I left his room and walked downstairs to see the Jacobs' TV along with DVD and VHS devices on a table that had DVD cabinets. I looked through the cabinets to eventually find the VHS tape James mentioned. The VHS tape cover had Optimus Prime fighting Megatron with the sticker, Volume 1 More Than Meets the Eye. I took the VHS tape out of its box and put it into the Jacobs' VHS player. I switched the channel and sat on the Jacobs' sofa to begin watching, hoping to relax until the Jacobs arrived home. It was just a black screen at first. I thought something was wrong with the TV. However, before I got up, Megatron's face appeared and the image began to zoom out until the Megatron's full body was revealed. He was standing next to an old man bound to a wheelchair. He looked at the man with hate and malice while the old man didn't take any notice of him, as if he couldn't see him. Megatron lifted his steel right leg up and stepped on the man, presumably killing him. Megatron laughed at the man's demise. I could see the man's wheelchair destroyed and crumbling under Megatron's foot. I was disturbed by the scene. I'd never seen Megatron actually kill a human before. I thought that there was some kind of homemade episode, some creep made in their basement. But that's what strange was that. What's strange was that Megatron's voice actually sounded like Frank Walker. Not today, but if he was in the 80s during recording. It was like his voice never changed. It didn't help that it was raining on this particular night. The laughing stopped and cut to a scene with Ratchet in his peculiar mode, driving to an unknown location, and a brief glance of what appeared to be Optimus Prime sitting on one of those foldaway chairs at a table in a room with no doors. Then it returned to Ratchet, driving in his particular form. I knew something was going to happen. Ratchet was still driving until he transformed, indicating that whatever he was going to, he had arrived. It was the Ark laying in ruins, as it always was. Ratchet entered the Ark and seemed to be reminiscing memories. I thought about the Megatron's siege on the Ark, but it wasn't as Megatron narrated this scene. He seems to be talking to Ratchet. You remember? You remember when we got fused together? You remember the price of life? The price of life? I said to myself. But before I could comprehend what was happening, Kickback appeared and attacked Ratchet. Then a frame of Megatron's laughing face appeared for a short moment. Ratchet was knocked on the ground and was dragged away by Kickback. Then the scene changed to Spike Wiggly riding his bicycle when Megatron's narration kicked in. Spike Wiggly? What kind of name is that? You fleshlings and your names. Well, damn them. Damn them to the very earth you live on. A bus came howling at Spike and ran him over. Megatron commented on Wiggli's death. Ha ha ha! Pathetic. Did your guardians tell you to watch the road? I guess not. I wish I had made use of human companions. The frame of Megatron's laughing face appeared again, and it went to the next scene of Megatron towering over a calorie star scream in a corner. Megatron was pissed. So pissed it was beyond humanly possible. "You treacherous coward! You waste of scrap!" Starscream responded. "But Megatron, don't Megatron me! I'm going to show you what kind of hell I went through. This time, you won't be coming back for this one." Megatron grabbed Starscream and threw him on the operating table and tied him down. Ratchet was on another operating table, also tied down. Ratchet was pleading for his life, but it was no use. Someone was also there, next to Megatron. "Megatron, please don't do this. Just kill me. Just kill me." "I'm not killing you, Ratchet." Soundwave, prepare for surgery." "Yes, Lord Megatron." A surgical device came down from the ceiling, and Soundwave closed the two tables together, forming one operating table. I knew what they were going to do, fusing Starscream and Ratchet together. Two hopeless Cybertronians plead for their lives, but were denied. Soundwave turned on and grabbed the device down to Starscream's and Ratchet's chest. Soundwave started from the very top of the head and started cutting. Starscream and Ratchet began screaming as Soundwave removed half of their outer body for fusion. He didn't stitch them together alive. The torture screams sounded like the voice actors were actually screaming in pain. Soundwave completed the surgery. Starscream and Ratchet were now one being. The now stitched together duo tried to speak, but all their speech was just gibberish. Megatron's pleased and took them to an airlock. "You two will be stitched together forever. Soundwave, open the airlock." Soundwave opened the airlock, and Megatron threw the Starscream and Ratchet hybrid out into space. The duo still pleading after being sucked out. The scene was over and showed a frame of Megatron's face again. It then cut to a scene of Optimus sitting at the table as shown earlier. This time, a gun that appeared to be Megatron's gun mode. The gun started to talk to Prime. I knew it was Megatron. "Prime, I've been in this hell long enough. I've been treated like a toy for children. Young fleshlings would never understand my hell, my torment, my eternal fight with you. It's time to end it, Prime. I took care of some of your pathetic Autobots and your companions. There's no way out of this room. You can't escape. Soon I will destroy all your Autobots. Now end it." That was the loudest rage I ever heard in my life. Optimus grabbed the gun and aimed at his head. He spoke. "No choice. No escape. I died many times, but now this time, it's permanent. I can't take this fight anymore." He fired a laser gun. It crowded his head, and servos, mechanical parts, flew out onto the floor. Optimus Prime collapsed, possibly killed by the suicide attempt. Megatron spoke for one final time. "Optimus Prime and Autobots is history. I now have the Matrix, and I turn this internal fight in my favor. Hopefully, this war will end and be history." His voice quickly turned to malice and anger. "And soon you'll be history." An extreme close-up of Megatron's face appeared and was mad as ever. His eyes were just pure red like they usually were. Instead, they had small black dots in those eyes of pure rage. His teeth were clenched and his mouth had some kind of substance dripping out, presumably saliva. As if for 5 minutes as the VHS tape ended and the screen turned to blue and static. I was paralyzed on the sofa with the rain howling in the darkness of night. I hallucinated Megatron's red eyes with those black dots in the dark. That's how scared I was. Just seeing Megatron's face was the scariest thing I ever saw in Transformers. Frequently, the Jacobs came home and saw me sitting on their sofa. They asked me if I was okay. This took me out of paralyzed trance. I lied to them, and I said I wanted to be paid. Mr. Jacob gave me $40, and I just got the heck out of there to return home. I believe James was still asleep, but I had forgotten about him. Once I came home, I didn't want to sleep after what I saw. I was awake all morning, thinking that what I just watched. I had a lot of questions, not only about how it was made, but what it all meant. The Eternal Fight obviously meant the war between Autobots and Decepticons. But where were Spike's friends and dad? Where were the other Autobots? Who got the original actors? Or they were really good impressions. I would never find out, and I doubt that the creators would actually make this as a finale. My life improved. I moved out and got an actual job. I regret just leaving there. I should have got the tape, but I don't think the Jacobs live at their original house anymore, and I don't know if James actually watched it. If he did, he would be traumatized by it, and probably upload it to YouTube as an adult I still love Transformers. I don't know if I would see again. Hopefully, I don't. That tape gave me nightmares for 10 months after that. That incident somehow burned into my memory as a cushion when I close my eyes. I see Megatron's angry face, complete with black dots. So that was Transformers Ops episode Stitch Together, a creepypasta. And hot damn, this is kind of insanely crazy. Well, besides the cliches, this story is pretty crazy, like, since this creepypasta might be inspired by one of the Transformers comics featuring that Stitch Together abomination that, don't talk about it. And, also that scene for freaking Optimus Prime just ending his own life is like, damn, that's pretty dark, And, I just felt bad for the protagonist of this story, like, after just watching the episode, he just have, like, some hallucinations over freaking Megatron, since, Megatron is like a freaking monster in this episode, like, goddamn, he just, like, he leads Command and Soundwave to just stitch up Ratchet and Starscream together, and then to just freaking yeet them out of the airlocks, like, damn, Megatron, just chill. And, anything else, it's overall great, but a pretty crazy creepypasta based around Transformers on this last episode on this very beloved toy franchise. So, anywho, I just hope you guys enjoyed this video. Like and comment this video and subscribe more content. So, this is Mr. Freddy here, and I hope you have a very good day. So, bye-bye.